welcome back, everyone. We're now going to move on to Spawn Hunt. Spawn Hunt asked me 4 questions. His first question is, what Vertigo title would you like to see be made into a TV series after Smallville and Supernatural ends? Vertigo. I think they should try another crack at a Swamp Thing live-action series, because there actually was a Swamp Thing TV series. I'd like to see them but the one I want to see the most is American Vampire. That would be awesome. I even said that should be a TV show in another video I did. That would be really cool. I really want to see that a TV series, American Vampire, the most, and Swamp Thing again, if they could do it right. Second question is, are you looking forward to Brian Michael Bendis' Powers comic book being turned into a TV series on FX? Well, honestly, I've never read Powers. You know, I'm one of those few people who's never read Powers. I want to read Powers, but I didn't know what it was about, so I didn't want to read something that I wouldn't like. But now that I've actually learned that it's like a crime series with superpowers, I want to read it. That looks cool. I mean, I love shows like NCIS and Law and Order, detective shows like that. And, you know, adding in the superpower element, that's pretty cool. You know, FX, I'm glad they looked at Walking Dead and went, hey, let's do something with that deals with comic books, but it's not like a rip-off of zombie shows, like what Captain Logan said in the Geek Evolution channel. That's what I'm going to take his word for it. So I want to read Powers now. That actually would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's, I'm looking forward to it. Your third question is, what is the next animated movie you want to see after year 1 for DC animated movies? Well, there's a lot. Of course, Long Halloween, Superman Red Sun, a Teen Titans animated movie would be nice. Who else? I would definitely like to see, you know, like I said, Our World's at War. That would not only make a good game, it would also make a good TV show. I mean, TV movie. Well, not TV movie, animated movie. I think that would be a cool story arc to transition the whole DC universe. Or how about a whole Crisis on Infinity Earths? That'd be cool. So, but yeah, I'm looking. Those are just a few. But thank you for the question, Spawn Hunt. And we're gonna move on. Blue Goblin 101. And he asked me 5 questions. First one being, do you watch anything from the Angry Video Game Nerd or the Nostalgia Critic? Yep. More so about the Angry Video Game Nerd than Nostalgia Critic. I watch some stuff from him, but majority of it's Angry Video Game Nerd. It's just so over the top, and I think some of his videos are just really funny and really cool. Just really fun. Some of his effects are really cool. I really liked his Star Wars one, because I didn't know there was a video game. I don't know if you watched this video or not, Blue Goblin, or anyone else, but he actually plays a Star Wars Nintendo game, or some game, that's from Japan, and there's actually a boss fight with Vader that you play as Luke, and there's a boss fight with Vader, and you hit him enough times, and he turns into a scorpion. He turns into a giant scorpion. I know, it's weird. But yeah, go check out that video and you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I do watch those shows. Your second question is, should there be a sequel to Zombieland? Yes. I love Zombieland. I think there should be a sequel. It left off for a good sequel, you know? Woody Harrelson, really good. Everyone was in there was really fantastic. It was more about humans and zombies, but it kept it so interesting without using a lot of zombies. It was just fun. I'd definitely go for a sequel. You know, don't change it up. Keep Woody Harrelson in there and the other ones, and you've got yourself a movie. You know, I'd love to see at least Zombieland 2. I think it'd be overkill if there was a Zombieland 3. But yeah, a sequel would be cool. Your third question is, who in the DC universe that doesn't have an animated movie do you think should have one? Booster Gold, The Question, Blue Beetle, you know, Jaime, even though he's dead now. You know, a lot of the other characters, you know, the cult favorite characters like Firestorm, Blue Devil, you know, characters like those. That's what I think. Your fourth question is, let's say, hypothetically, you need drawing lessons. What comic artist would you take lessons from, and what time period from any time period in the comics? David Finch. I'd love to take art lessons from David Finch. I don't draw. I'm not a good artist, but yeah, David Finch, Alex Ross, Francis Manapul, not Chuck Dixon. He's a writer. John Romita Jr. and Sr. To name a few. So, yeah, there's your answer to that. And your fifth question is fifth and final, I should say. Who would you see the Gotham City Sirens messing with in the Marvel Universe? Well, Blue Goblin. Honestly, there's one person that comes to mind, and that's Spidey. You know, Spider-Man. I think Spidey and the Sirens would be a team up between the Spidey and the Sirens would be awesome. You know, him hanging with, you know, Catwoman. Especially him hanging out with Selina would be kind of cool. Saying, I work with a chick who's a lot like you, and him working with Harley, Harley and Ivy. You know, all three of the Sirens. I think he'd work really well with them. But you know, he'd probably be like, you guys have shady past, but I'm willing to work with you guys. But yeah, if there was anyone I could choose from, it would most definitely be Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe. So, thank you for those questions, Blue Goblin. And, next on the list is Wolfman Thomas. Wolfman Thomas asked me one question. If there was an anime versus comics, miniseries, what fights would you like to see? You know, I would like to say the typical Goku versus Superman, but, you know, it's gotten to the point where I'm even scared of fanboys of Superman, of DC and Dragon Ball Z fanboys, and how they react of who would be the winner. You know, that's war. that's a bloodbath waiting to happen. But other fights would be like Wolverine versus Inuyasha. That's an underrated fight. I really like that fight. Because I really think Inuyasha and Wolverine are a lot alike, and I'd really like to see a fight like that. The other ones would be like Doctor Doom versus Naraku. Who else? I had a lot. Piccolo versus Martian Manhunter. You know, Zip and I were talking about. Ziploc Gory and I were talking about that. That we thought that would be cool. Who else? Shit. Lost it. Man, there was a lot in my head, but those are the general ones, basically. But thank you for that question, Wolfman Thomas. And we're going to move on to Liam Perry Lloyd. How you doing, Liam? You asked me... You got 3 questions for me. Okay, first one is, would you like to see a Blade animated series? Well, we're gonna get that. It's a Blade anime series coming soon, so I'm really looking forward to that. You know, I'm really Japan really goes deep into vampires, and Blade would be really cool is going to be really cool as an anime. I mean, we got X-Men, Iron Man, and Wolverine animes, so I can't wait for Blade. Following your next question is, what do you think of Wolverine Old Man Logan? Well, first off, starters, I think that was the last good Mark Millar story. I'm serious. I mean, I managed to read all of Nemesis, and I thought that was crap. And you know, Superior wasn't that good. I didn't think Superior was all that good. So, and Ultimates, I don't even bother with Ultimates, dude. So, I consider the last great story from Mark Millar. You know, that's just my thing. And your last question is If you were forced to write a big, massive Marvel event with nearly every character in the Marvel Universe, what would you have happen in it? I think I would do something like an invasion, like of some, like not like secret invasion, like a full-scale invasion from another world, and it would take all the heroes and villains to unite to protect Earth, you know? Like a huge invasion force from Thanos trying to invade Earth and slaughter everyone, or like just something that would unite the world, the Marvel Universe, you know? I don't know what I'd call it, but that's just basically the general idea of it. So, thank you for the question, Liam Perry Lloyd. And up next is Richard the D, and he asked me 4 questions. Your first question, Richard, is would Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark be willing to do a company merger? I think so. I think that would benefit both of them. You know, also their companies. You know, in the DC universe, Wayne Enterprises is probably the most powerful corporation, while Stark has the most powerful well, now currently Stark Corporation doesn't really exist. So a merger between these two would be really cool, and I think it would benefit the both Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark. Second question is, who would win the fight between Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z versus Black Adam? You know, that's really too close for me to call, because, you know, we got Vegeta, who's destroyed entire planets and killed entire races, and, you know, taken on some powerful people. But, you know, Black Adam, he's no slouch either. You know, he's taken on the Justice League and JSA at once. He didn't need any help. He's very capable of taking on a lot of people in the DC universe, so I'm gonna say no comment on that, so sorry. Your third question is, what heroes do you think should become a villain? Should become villains? I'm gonna say, you know, characters like, I've always wanted to see what would happen if, you know, Ghost Rider or Moon Knight became villains, or, you know, I've always wanted to see what would it be like if Thor turned his back on the human race, you know, stuff like that. You know, those are just to name a few. Your fourth question is, what is your favorite retro old school game? Well, I don't know if you can call it retro. There are a lot like Galactica, I think that's how you call it, and Pac-Man. I love me some Pac-Man. But if you want to call what I call retro is I consider this game retro because this was a little before my time. Well, I was still young when it was out. It was this game called Primal Fury. Now, Primal Fury was this game that was basically like what it was basically like these giant. You could play as giant monsters and they fought. It had a cult following game. It was like giant monster Mortal Kombat basically, and you know, there was a lot of fatalities. Even one monster, one giant monkey called Chaos. What his fatality was, he would, when he beat an opponent, he'd pee on them with acid piss, and you know, they'd become skeletons basically. So I thought that was pretty cool. I even collected I collected the action figures. I played the game. It was just that's how much I loved Primal Wars. So thank you for the question, Richard. And I think we're going to be able to wrap up the next few questions in the next part, if not the next 2 parts. So stay tuned, everyone.